What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of Respect the Game podcast. My name is Edward, named after a great man, that being my pops. Shout out to my mother and grandmother for helping raise me too. Please make sure you go follow at Emax Stats for all your up-to-date high school, pro, and collegiate sports coverage. I will definitely keep you up to date on all that is going on in the beautiful, illustrious sports world. Got the three-man, 3-on-3 going right now. Our brother Sheinhardt Izzo, he's not in the building yet. May be on. Um, but make sure you go follow him at Sheinhardt Izzo. You could find that down there in the description. But nonetheless, we're gonna hold it down for our brother Sheinhardt Izzo.
Yo, it is the host with the most that blows the most smoke, Black Peace, the rap plug, the hip hop plug. You already know. By the way, be sure to go check out Talking Smoke on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get your dope podcast from. That's where you can find it at. And let's keep it moving.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you are in the world. It is I, the one and only Sedacious Xavier Miles. And on behalf of me and my brothers, I just want to say thank you for supporting us. Please go follow me on Instagram at I am Sedacious. That's IAMSEDATAIOUS. On TikTok, same thing. I am Sedacious. And also had a brain fart, www.coopv.com. Let's go.
All right, man, get straight to it like it is. Nothing to it but to get to it. A bomb drop Thursday night, Friday night, around 11:50 midnight. J.Cole drops Might Delete Later album mixtape. Nonetheless, a body of work of his that he packaged and put together to premiere going into the Dreamville Fest this past weekend. Don't We're gonna obviously talk about the disc record and stuff. So, but before we get to that specifically, what are y'all thoughts about the project as a whole? Might delete later.
For me, to a certain extent, it gives me sorry for the wait vibes, dedication vibes. You know, good little warm up before he drops the album, just like Lil Wayne did. There's references to Lil Wayne. If the new school doesn't know who that is, when I say all that, I definitely feel like it's a nice warm up. I feel like uh, it was a good time for it, just right before the summer hit. Uh, Something that we can kind of just ride into the summer with, and yeah, man, I was impressed. I was impressed. I was impressed for the level of what he was trying to deliver. I wasn't blown away, but I'll say I was just regularly impressed.
Yeah, no, man. For me, I think it was a really good project. Listening to the tracks, I felt as if though some of them were like maybe a couple records that didn't make his last project and the off season. I was about to call it the fall off, but he hasn't dropped the fall off yet. But now listening to it, I feel like some of the tracks, specifically Ready, like hearing Cameron on Ready kind of put me in that off season mode of I-95 when Cameron like kind of just sets the tempo and the vibe for the album when he comes on and on the intro. And so hearing Cam, I feel like was this like newly recorded, or like was this something that was possibly recorded for the off season and like that it just didn't make the album? And Cole is like bringing some of those, tracks that didn't make the cut for the off season and putting it on Might Delete Later.
Bro, you didn't think Gucci set the tone for the album?
I'm talking about for the off season. Gucci man wasn't
Oh,
on.
okay.
Yeah.
You said Cameron on the off season. Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, no, when I the first time when it comes on, I'm just like happy to your point. The first time when it comes on, I'm just like, oh, Cole dropped the project. And then it's like probably like the second or third time that I'm listening to it from top to bottom. I'm like, I know that voice. Like, I was like, I ain't tripping. I think that's Gucci. And like on that particular track, because they're not actually rapping, like they don't have like the featuring Gucci Man, featuring Young Dro. It's just, you know what I'm saying, them, narrating and so forth. But then when you go look at the, the credentials, the credits, you be like, there was Gucci Man. um, but yeah, no, H-Town representative, Trader Truth, he's on there too. All together, all in all, I really enjoyed the body of work. Passed the car test, passes the workout test. Um, so yeah, great body of work overall. I really I enjoyed it for a while.
Yeah, needless to say, it was good. I say, what a response, what a way to respond. Um, because I mean, for a guy who really don't need features and has shown for consecutive projects that he doesn't need a feature, and for his features to be of the magnitude that they are, and him to be able to be, just as big, if not bigger than the features. Well, man, I don't think you can get no bigger than Gucci Man for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong. It was cool seeing Trey and Cameron on that help, but have Gucci on a Cole album, like what? Like what? Like that's like on some what?
I mean, but they've Cole is featured on a Gucci song before. I forget the name of the song, but like it's not like outrageous that they collabing. But I feel what you're saying.
No, it's like it's not outrageous that they're collabing in the way that they're collabing, with it being like somewhat of a response to what's to what's happening in the times, which is the big three is being talked about. And I really think that this is a really good time for rap. I think that Kendrick kind of like sparked this thing. I'm on record for saying that this is all really a big hoax for real, and these guys ain't gonna never be nowhere, and they entourage fighting each other and can't get along, like on some Ja Rule 50 Cent type stuff. It'll never be like that. Like before it's all said and done, they gonna all be friends again, and they'll probably all be on the song, right? So this is just really a good moment in rap where we just get to like enjoy this, because really we really need this, because it's been a little dull, to say the least. So yeah, it's so cool. And to know that there's an album to come after this, it's like, all right, cool. So now he's finna go and talk about his feelings about being in the big three and being dissed by Kendrick, and how he dissed him back, but he feel bad, and being on the song First Person Shooter, and how that was his first #1 on the charts. All of this stuff, right? So it's just like, yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited.
Okay. To set the scene for those who may not follow rap like that. Kendrick, he shoots his shot at Cole and Drake on a Futures song. Cole responds with 7 Minute Drill. After making his response, again, laying out the album, the album rollout for the Dreamville Fest. Cole, obviously, I guess, going through the album, performing it, and then he gets to that song, and then he, spills out, his heart to the public about how he truly feels about making the diss record back towards Kendrick Lamar. Respect it or check it. Cole making that apology.
Gotta respect it. For me, because I am one who prides myself on not allowing others to make me alter myself in any way, shape, or form. And so a lot of times you can be under so much pressure that now this person doing this thing to you is now like kind of sent you over the top. Like you kind of boil over. Like that's the straw that breaks the camel's back, and you just lash, right? And once you do it, and then everything comes of it, you know what I mean? Because there's always cause and effect. Depending on how you feel about that, it can make you feel like No, bro, like that's not even really me for real. The way that I do this is no response at all. Best response is no response. And that's low key kind of my brother. I understand that I understand who we are, but I still feel how I feel about it. And he can do whatever he wants. He can keep on with his rhetoric of dissing us and all of that. Well, me, where I stand in my soul and my spirit, I want to be able to sleep good at night, to which he referred. So, he apologized to not only Kendrick, but he also apologized to the fans as well. And you know me, I'm always down for some good old kumbaya.
Before you go, Black Peace, you as a rapper, you don't slight J. Cole in any way, shape, or form?
Nah. You see, the thing is, bro, I understand us beefing and rap battling and the whole culture behind having an opposition, especially within rap. That's kind of what's driven rap, had been driven rap since since it started, right? Kind of like capping on each other, right? Getting off on each other, and then all of a sudden just start freestyling on some random stuff, right? Why do we have to live in that same regime? Because that's just what we know. You know what I'm saying? Why does it? You know what I'm saying? Why do we fault a guy for being like, hey, no, this is what I believe. This is how my spirit feels, and this is what I want to do. And, because me, I call a person who hate on that guy a hater. That's all I do. That's all I'm like, yeah, bro, you a hater. You know what I'm saying? Like, misery loves company. You know what I'm saying? And people can try to say to me, oh, no, man, I ain't miserable. I just feel like, this is rap and this is how rap goes. It's like, okay, well, who are you to say that? Who are you to say so? All right. So, like I said, I feel like it's all a hoax. I feel like it's all like, really, like, this will never get to a like who had like a real
But check
like
this
this will
out
never
though,
get to
like
a Gotti. This will never get to a
yeah.
Gotti and Dolph type of situation,
So
bro.
because it's like, so when we talk about rap beef, like, is it not considered real beef solely because you don't believe it's gonna ever get physical?
Of course,
Okay.
it's
Black
just
Peace,
it's
you respect it or check it?
Check it, man. I feel like J. Cole broke KayFabe. To wrestling fans, they know what that means. He broke kayfabe, man. Like this is not a
I
real
love
thing of this is
it.
not a real thing of beef. This is not a real thing of I hate you. I want to do something to you. This is simply just like battle rap in New York, in the Mecca. I'm right in front of you. We talking shit to each other. We saying some pretty dark shit to each other. Excuse my language, folks. And at the end of the day, like we're gonna dap each other up. We may go and partake in social events, and we want to keep it pushing. Nobody's hurt by anything. Like they're trying to get back to the roots, I feel. And when he did that apology, it was just like, bro, like you came out of character, like stay in rapper character. Like, what are you doing? That's why I think a lot of the fans and everybody even like reciprocated the way they did. People like did not like it at all. And it's like, it's not the fact that you were all I'm sorry. It's like, bro, we know y'all not really beefing. Y'all have nothing's ever happened to where y'all would literally want to physically harm each other at all. So there's no reason for things to actually get bad or get quote unquote blankly disrespectful. Anything from this point is, it's up. Period. Like he even when Kendrick initiated, he said it's up. When you say it's up, that's exactly what it means, playfully or not. Like, bro, we up there right now. We not about to. It ain't coming back down anytime soon. And that was like that. That initial first push or first shove. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, you put his hands on you. Like you gotta defend yourself. There's nothing to be sorry about. That person chose to put his hands on you. So therefore he knows what comes with that. There's no shock on his side. I don't think Kendrick is even worried about the rebuttal. He's worried about, okay, when the perfect time for me to reply back to that. Like that's what he's worried about. He's not worried about, oh, let me, make an enemy or make it just so horrible. Like, no, he's looking at it like it's sport. Like,
Bro, oh, that was nice. Okay, I like that little way you did that, or you pointed out some stuff that nobody else wants to say. I like that, Jay. Well, this is what I got for you next. Like, it's all love, but don't break kayfabe. You can't do that, Blair. You can't do that. Don't get out of character.
Yeah, man. Full
That's
discretion.
hey man, we can really go back and forth on this all night. Pause. I'm just gonna pause it just cause. But I like that you say kayfabe, bro, because outside of kayfabe, these people are real people, right? You know what I'm saying? Which I get it, bro. As a fan, I definitely understand. J. Cole, that's like that's like breaking the fourth wall type. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Just let it be what we know it is. It's just sportsmanship for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? We know it's nothing more than that. Nobody's busting any grapes around here. Right? So to do that is kind of, but honestly, brother, as a person who like kind of likes to play like the game of chess in life, it's almost like a you can't beat that really. It's like a really like a checkmate. It's like, yo, I'm gonna dish you and then right after apologize. So even if you respond, like okay, yeah. And then now it's like, why would you even respond? Because now you know automatically I'm not gonna give you no response. So it's kind of like
The B rabbit effect.
right. It's kind of like tricky. It's kind of like
I took away your ammunition technically because I'm already owning up to the failure that is already displayed. Like you're gonna poke fun at something I chose to do that wasn't pressured on me. Like, what's the point?
right. And that's crazy because the way that I see it, just from knowing the careers to where they are now, it's almost like the little brother is tired of always having to hear about the big brothers. So now let me just go at them and let y'all know that this one peed in the bed till he was about 21. And this one, he always broke. You know what I mean? It's like it's like that. I'm really that nigga. You know what I mean? He's soft.
I like the way you
But
put that. That was actually a great description.
it's funny because that's how I look at it. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, Kendrick. But yeah, man, J. Cole is like what? That middle child. That's like, yeah, I'm finna dish you, but then I'm gonna go tell mama what you did before you get to tell how I dished you type deal.
No, I would
I won't
say
even say that. I would say like I punished you myself, and then I literally apologize right behind it. Like, I'm not gonna let it sit. I'm not gonna let it like mull over. Like, that's the big brother. That's, yeah, he gonna be the big brother on you, but he's gonna be right behind it. Like, bro, you good? You know I had to get on you for that reason, right? You know it ain't that deep. He ain't that big brother that's just gonna like step in and call himself disciplining you and just like following up. Like, that's that's kind of what he's not dog. I'm sorry, these dogs are distracting me. But I think you get what I'm saying, though.
yeah.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So when I initially heard it, I was happy that he shot back. But trying my best to understand why he would break kayfabe, why he would like not stay in character. Um, I understand it though, right? And for those who don't, or those who may be highly wrapped up in like the rap side of it, uh, I interpret everything J. Cole said on stage in the apology is that for the past 10 plus years of his life, he's been living at such a high frequency in the spiritual realm that indulging in the character of entertainment of rap beef, it disturbed his spirit once he saw like all the blogs and what everybody else is saying about Kendrick, his brother, who he loves, and he like truly has like respects his work. I feel like his diss track, him seeing the reacts of his diss track, and how it started to make people talk, like, shun or talk bad or talk down on Kendrick. That disturbed his spirit, knowing that he truly has a high regard and respect for Kendrick. And when you have, when you're somebody who doesn't allow yourself to easily just live amongst the earth, and you're trying to, be in tune with your spirit, and you're trying to stay in line with your spirit in your relationship with God and so forth, um, like falling victim to like the earth is like, you could lose sleep over that, you know what I'm saying? And so for some of us, we're probably like, bro, it's just rap, like it ain't that big of a deal, bro. You ain't need to apologize. But like you can't dictate what disturbs a person's spirit or what disturbs like a person moving in their purpose when like they're living on like a way higher altitude of purpose and spirituality compared to like you who just caught up in the world and the wind of wanting to be entertained. And so that's what I think it boiled down to for J. Cole. While at the moment he was just like, all right, I'm gonna participate in like the shenanigans. Like he
My boy
realized,
said he had 1,000 missed calls.
you know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, I guess I'll participate in the shenanigans. And but then after the fact, it's like, oh wait, like
I lost myself.
like my spirit never, like my, had I not received 1,000 calls, my spirit would have like not felt moved to respond in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Like my spirit doesn't allow me to engage in like the entertainment side to just like, for y'all to like have something to talk about. Like J. Cole, I believe J. Cole pushes rap forward with like his penmanship, not trying to down talk or engage in, any unnecessariness of rap beef or so on and so forth. And so yeah, man, for him to come out and apologize and say, hey, I allowed myself to get caught up in something that, you know, my spirit doesn't agree with. I think whether or not you like it or you don't, like you could take something from him. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was able to recognize an error he made in entertaining something that doesn't align with his spirit. Some of us, some of y'all don't even have a radar to know when y'all spirit being deterred because you've been drugged through the world of social media and the mud of entertainment for oh so long. So uh though I grew up on rap, though I grew up on WWE, love it to the death of me. Shout out to everybody who had a Nintendo 64, the black console of WrestleMania 2000, and my No Mercy babies out there. Shout out to y'all. But as you grow older, like you realize, you know what I'm saying, like there's another level of life we have to live and try to like be upon. You know what I'm saying? We can't be our full self and live out to our full potential if we're only acting upon the world's or the society's like standards of like, coming and going and being entertained with like all the gossip and the foolishness. So salute to Cole. Um as a, J. Cole being my favorite rapper of the big three. And somebody who does their best to, try to be led by the spirit. Um, I can respect it, him, taking a route and being open and transparent, to people, about just having a bigger purpose and admitting that like I did some shit that like my spirit doesn't agree with, regardless of like what y'all think of me. Like if I'm gonna be true to myself and and maintain staying true to my spirit, like it wasn't really in me to begin with to like try to throw a shot at my brother. But yeah, acknowledging that, how do y'all feel about the diss track?
Talking about J. Cole's?
Yeah,
Oh, solid. I mean, no holes in it.
yeah, nah. I think what happened in getting caught up in like the 1,000 calls, I feel like Kendrick threw J. Cole a light jab and Cole went like full throttle, like, hey, I ain't to be played with. And so it sucks, like he said, hey, head up, chin out, like take your best shot. It's like if Kendrick wants to go nuclear, we don't we can't expect Cole to respond after what he just said. But Cole being the lyricist he is, I'm pretty sure all this is gonna like work out in some miraculous way for his good for a record in the near future. All a part of the journey with the fall off. Uh yeah. But also too, I think it's a testament to J. Cole like not understanding like how powerful he is. Now, if this was Joe Blow rapper who said something like this, we probably wouldn't care. But for Cole to drop it and then see the immediate response of everybody, like, you know what I'm saying? This is like, I could talk about you, Sedacious, like on this podcast or, you know, whatever the case may be. But if we go out in public and I'm trying to rank on you in front of everybody, it's just like, oh, like, come on, like, shit, like, relax,
Yeah.
relax. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. I respect it, you know what I'm saying? As somebody, you know, who tries to choose spirit over flesh. And I think that's what this was. Cole was probably mad at himself because he allowed the flesh to win after being able to, you know, move through his spirit for so many years. But, you know, like they say, players mess up, charges to the game. A just man falls down 7 times, but he gets back up again in Jesus' name. So yeah, man.
I do want to add too, though, that this one is kind of hard to call because I could see someone checking it simply because, brother, this is why when the flesh wins, it puts you in a deeper hole because just don't do it, right? Because if you just don't do it, there's no apology that needs to be had. And then now the fans don't feel like you're breaking kayfabe. You do it, now you have to apologize for it. Now the fans are mad that you're breaking kayfabe, but we kind of gotta respect it because, you know what I'm saying, you're still human, you know what I'm saying, and you still gotta live with yourself. But it's like, bro, you're J. Cole at the same time, and we are part of making you rich. So you know, we kind of are a little bit entitled to your life.
Like, have you ever seen somebody in a rap battle and just be like, you know what? I'm sorry, I went a little too hard on you. It's like, no, bro, what we doing right now is sport. Like, that's like something like it's equivalent to making a good hit, not a dirty hit, but a good hit on the football field and then apologizing. It's like, bro, a good hit is a good hit. Now, a dirty hit, you drag them, you try to tell them tear a tendon or something like that. Yes, absolutely. You're not trying to, you kind of need to apologize about that. But, bro, this is sport. Like, I don't think you got talking about any family members, any illnesses, any disabilities, any friends. Like, you went straight at him and you kept it, highly opinion based. Like everybody didn't agree with what he said, and for you to go back and just act like you just told secrets, that nobody had any idea about, it's just like, bro, it's not that deep. Like I get it, that's your bro, but excuse me, you like, bro, this is rap. Like at a certain point, it can happen. So it's just like it's not that big of a deal in my opinion. I feel
Yeah,
like
it's
I get what
almost
you're doing. I respect what you're doing still at the end of the day. But overall, bro, it's not that deep. Like
right. It's like the greats are supposed to be able to, you know, dot every I and cross every T, right? So if the
iron
greats are
sharpens iron.
right, if they're selling, the greats are selling like the greats are selling. The greats are writing and rapping and delivering like the greats rap and deliver, and the greats battle how the greats battle. Don't be want to be considered a great, though when it's time to battle and get in that battle realm with the greats, and I can understand. And then rap isn't a forgiving genre. We don't forgive. You know what I'm saying? That's not what we do over here. And we ain't a kumbaya genre.
But
So
this is about being number one, though. Like this is nothing more than being the best. Not a beast, like you said. It's about getting touched. Somebody physically did something, maybe even personal upon like on some Kanye and Drake stuff. Like something got a little bit too personal, bro. This is just about being number one. Like I can't give that energy of like, man, like it's serious. Like it's nothing serious about it. Like people may choose sides in a sense of, okay, it doesn't make sense for me to do a song with him and then do one with him, especially if they're talking bad about each other. This is bad business. But other than that, like, bro, it's just like no. Like I have an end game of this just being one of those moments of a Nas and Jay-Z type thing. Like if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, there was no actual altercations between them two.
Nah.
They were technically battling for being number one, being top five at the
Jay
time.
Z.
Because it was Biggie Smalls, no, top for being top three, because Biggie and Tupac were number one and two, and they kept saying like Biggie, Nas, and Tupac, or Biggie, Jay, and Tupac. And it was just like that was the big argument. They made the diss songs. They had like the little tension. Nobody got hurt, and they ended up, dapping up on a big stage and making headlines. So I look at like, like I said, that's why I said, like, bro, you broke kayfabe, bro. Like it's not that. Like at worst, you may not be at the same award ceremonies, and y'all don't even go to award ceremonies. So,
Right.
but yeah,
Right.
Uh, Final Four. Did anybody watch the men's Final Four championship? Did anybody watch the women's Final Four championship? Dang,
yes.
I watched the women. I watched both, but I watched the women's from beginning to end. Men, I caught like halftime, second half kind of ordeal.
I want to say WrestleMania was on during this time.
WrestleMania was this weekend.
And that was
WrestleMania was
amazing.
this weekend, and you
I'm
1010% correct about that, bro.
I'm curious about all three numbers.
All right, so nah, man. So Sean Hart Izzo not here. However, we placed the over and under the women's college basketball LSU versus Iowa set the record 14.2 million. And last week's conversation was just simply about, hey, if if South Carolina and Iowa meet in the championship, would they break the 4.2 million average viewers record with Iowa and LSU? Stacious, you said initially you was over, but then you heard Darnell's dissertation on why don't too many people are into South Carolina, so to speak.
And I
Then
took the under.
you took the under with Darnell. And like I said, probably being like the more avid watcher of like women's college basketball of us on the pod, like I was just like Caitlin Clark being Caitlin Clark, and the narrative of Dawn Staley, going for her third title, also getting bounced out and getting a rematch against Iowa from last year. All of that added up, I feel like the views were going to be there to surpass Iowa versus LSU. And even before the Iowa South Carolina game, we had Iowa versus UConn. UConn has a great big following. UConn has a great big following for both men and women. And shout out to their men's team for being back-to-back national champs. Even though we've mostly been tuned into the women. But the UConn game, Iowa versus UConn goes for 14.2 million after Iowa versus LSU goes for 12.3. And then you have Iowa versus South Carolina, which we all hope for, shattering both of those records with 18.9 million. Black Peace, you are not Rostradamus in this instance. I told you so. I told you so.
Hey, bravo
Oh,
to the people for watching, man. I've been entertained over the years, me personally, but I hear a lot of negative talk about women's sports, so it's hard for me to find that balance of like, do people understand like this is actual good sport, or do they like put them in that box of, oh, this is women's basketball, who cares? But I know the difference. I didn't know if everybody else knew the difference. This past weekend, I learned that America knows the difference.
Yeah, it's starting to come along, and it's really good to see. I'm really happy to see because it's more for us to watch. It's more for us to engage and being tuned in, and there's more opportunities for everybody. So I mean, I love it, man.
Man, with the tournament, bro, something that I want to talk about for both the men's and women team, or I said team, both the men and women's championship game. I just wanted to touch on this for a second and just talking about just like the strength in numbers. I know the Golden State Warriors, that was their mantra when they were on their historical title run, strength in numbers. And first, I'm gonna start with Iowa, talking about Iowa. So Iowa, we could say Iowa is a great team, but I think it's with respect to those ladies on that team and the head coach, we can call them a great team, but their team is 90% Caitlin Clark, bro, with all that she produces, with all for all that they produce for her, all that she produces for the team. And so in this game, Caitlin Clark gets her 30 points. Caitlin Clark also dropped 30 against them last year when she beat them. And 30 points, that's an average game for Caitlin Clark. That's how great she has been. And one of the things that I just paid attention to that I thought was just like very telling was the fact that I'm not sure if they did or not, but it was at one point in the fourth quarter that the bench points for South Carolina was 37 to Iowa's 0 bench points. And to me, it was so telling because it's just like, all right, as a coach and having a transfer portal, and obviously, like if assuming you want to win a national championship, it is so entirely easy to have a generational player and just sit on your hands and believing that they are enough to win it all for you. And that is far from the truth. Again, Caitlin Clark, she plays the full 40 minutes, 30 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Average numbers for Caitlin. She does this on a regular. And y'all end up losing. And it's not the fact that y'all lost, it's the fact that y'all couldn't find any help from y'all's bench. Basketball is the ultimate team sport. Of course, you're going to have games where players erupt and go absolutely insane, i.e. Anthony Edwards, 49 points and counting currently. You're going to have moments like that where, a player could just really, lead you to the promised land in a particular game. But as you get deeper into the tournament, as you get deeper into the playoffs, you're going to need a team to win a championship. Jordan needed it. Kobe understood the value in needing it. LeBron understands the value in needing it. And so, and Caitlin Clark, she's a national player of the year, but she falls short because she doesn't have a well-rounded team around her, and also a team that couldn't get her more than 0 points off the bench in the championship game, right? So we talk about that with Caitlin Clark, right? Talk about that with Caitlin Clark, and then what do we do? Where do we go from there? Another, and on the men's side, national player of the year. If I told you, hey, this guy had 37 points and 10 rebounds, you would think he probably led his team to victory. That wasn't the case for Zach Edey. Zach Edey dropped 37 points, had 10 rebounds, played all 39 minutes, all but 1 minute of the game. and his team still came up short because it was just like, hey, go ahead, try to be great. Like you can have your 37. We're gonna go take this championship, be back-to-back champs, and that being UConn. They let Zach Edey go one-on-one, and they just stayed home on everybody else. Go, Zach, go ahead, bro. Drop 40 if you can. Do all of that if you possibly can. But his teammates, couldn't give him extra. Now, but let's, obviously put ultimate respect towards UConn being able to have that game plan, and being able to execute it. But again, bro, I seen it again. I seen it this past year, covering a top school here in Georgia and covering the top school here in Georgia. I seen it at the state championship game. This kid was averaging 30 all season long. And throughout the year, I'm like looking at his team and I'm just like, he great. I know he great. But at what point is a coach from the opposing team gonna say, hey, we're gonna double this kid and we're gonna force your entire team to try to like score points? And
Right.
so I was at the championship game, at the state championship game, and I'm watching how the game is unfolding, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't think he fits to beat this entire team by himself. And you know what I'm saying? And the better team, though they didn't have the star player, the better team ended up going on and win the championship. And it just makes me think about the quote where it says, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. And I just think looking at all of those situations and those scenarios with like, yeah, y'all had the better player overall, but like y'all that didn't amass for having the better team. And I think even when you have the best player, you have to, though you have the best player as a team, as a collective, you're still only as great as your weakest player. And I don't feel like coaches be paying attention to that. I think they just get lost in having a superstar player and they just be like, hey, you're gonna go as far as you could take us. And so I don't know. There's just something that like I peep with like the tournament this year. Caitlin Clark, obviously world renowned player, but your bench can't get you 2 points, bro. Like, what are we talking about? Like, your bench
How
can't
did
get
they
you.
make it to the championship game and not score a bucket in it?
I mean, they probably scored points in prior, but that particular
No, no,
champ,
no. I'm saying, how did you score points in games before the championship, get to the championship
Caitlin
and
Clark.
not score one?
Yeah, well, yeah. Like, no, this is when Caitlin needs you the most.
You don't score one.
Yeah, bro. Like, yeah, I don't know. That's just something that I had wanted to talk about. However, man, bro, when you talk about respecting the game, a lady who has respected the game, who should be the poster child this week of respecting the game. And maybe that's all we can start doing. I know we do respect it to check it, but like, I don't know, maybe we could do like who like respected the game this week and whatever person, field, or whatever.
Right.
I want to get her numbers correct.
Like Donald Trump. See, that was the joke time.
When you said that, I was like, cancel. We are.
Folks out
Yo,
here.
yo, man. So Raven Johnson, you had a total of 3 points. You had 3 points in the championship game against Iowa. And you still found a way to be one of the most impactful players on that court. The way you stopped Caitlin Clark from going absolutely crazy. I know y'all viewers out there who just watch the game here and there while you throw back a beer and come and go outside, hanging out with your family with the game on, halfway paying attention. She had 30. Speaking to the real hoops, I'm not even going, if y'all ain't really paying attention, this ain't the conversation for you. But man, I just want to salute you, Raven Johnson, for not allowing your game to be limited, not allowing your impact to be limited to only what you do on the offensive end. What you did on Caitlin Clark was absolutely sensational. Um, and it is to be commended. It is to like not ever be forgotten. As long as I'm in the industry of sports, I'm gonna make sure your name forever is remembered. Man, you did a sensational job against Caitlin Clark. I forget who it is. Forgive me right now. Have to double back and give you a shout out. But the guy who is a part the lead scouting guy, who does the scouting team report for South Carolina. Don Staley gave you a big shout out. I know last week on the pod, I was talking about what to do to stop Caitlin Clark, guard her full court, trap her off screens, go over the screen, and run her off the three. And like full court, I seen you, Raven Johnson, hand in the face. You, Bree Hall. I seen y'all was giving it all y'all got to just corral her, frustrate her. And I think y'all did that. She had 30, but it wasn't enough. She earned that 30. That was an ugly 30 for Caitlin. She truly had to earn every basket out there. And that game was beautiful to watch, bro. Cause I knew Caitlin was like, I knew she could be limited. I won't say stop. I knew she could be limited to a degree where she could be limited in a losing effort for Iowa. That is what I truly believed about Caitlin and the way the Lady Hawkeyes were assembled. And man, bro, just on the defensive front, bro, forcing her to the paint, forcing everybody else to the paint. Cardoso, you headed out to the lead. Keaton blocks, man. Like it was a team effort, man. But it started with you, Raven Johnson, not allowing Caitlin Clark to have her way, and especially considering how Caitlin disrespected you all in the confines of competition on the court, disrespected you last year, waving you off. You still had a horrendous shooting night, but it did not matter because you didn't allow your game to be limited to only being effective on offense. You made an impact on defense, and it affected everything throughout the game, man. Salute to you, Raven Johnson, man. Oh man, salute to you. You were out of Georgia. I want to say she graduated right when I moved here, so I didn't get the pleasure to cover her in high school. But yeah, man, I'm have to make some road trips here to South Carolina next season to start covering y'all since y'all up the street. But yeah, man, shout out to Raven Johnson from Atlanta, Georgia. And man, sensational game. Way to respect the game, Raven. Because a lot of people, we see it. Your shot ain't falling. You don't want to commit on defense. You don't want to do nothing else. That wasn't Raven, man. She led the front on defense. So with what she did to Caitlin Clark, bro. Salute to you, Raven Johnson. I just had to make sure we give her flowers, bro. Play-in predictions for the playoffs. This is the final week of the NBA season. Right now teams are playing, so everybody now has 3 games left, approximately. Next week will be the play-in. Black Peace, Sedacious. I'm gonna give y'all the play-in seeding right now.
I got 76ers in Chicago. And I gotta go Golden State and LA.
So
I know Sacramento is right there.
hold on, bro. Hold on. So Eastern Conference. You got Philly, you got Miami. Philly number 7 seed, Miami number 8 seed, Chicago number 9 seed, Hawks number 10 seed. Obviously the way it works, I won't assume that. Let me just double check. I want to say 7 play 8 and so forth.
Pelicans, Sacramento, Golden State, LA.
Whoa, these niggas get, bro, it's 37-8. The Clippers versus the Suns right now.
Who winning, the Suns?
But no, the Clippers, and they don't have Paul. They don't have to say Paul George. They don't have Paul Wow or James Harden tonight. That's crazy. All right, so as it currently stands right now with the standings, we have the 7 seed Pelicans, 8 seed Kings, 9 seed Lakers, 10 seed Warriors. Staying strictly with the West right now. Again, 7 seed Pelicans, 8 seed Sacramento, 9 seed Lakers, 10 seed Golden State Warriors. The way this is structured out, the Pelicans would play, the 7 seed plays the 8 seed, the 9 seed plays the 10 seed. Whoever wins out of the 7th and 8th seed, they take the 7th seed. Whoever wins out of the 9th and 10th seed, they will play the winner from the 7th and 8th seed. And whoever's in the 9th and 10th seed, essentially you're playing for the 8th seed. So with the Pelicans and the Kings, and then the Lakers and the Warriors having to go against each other, who do y'all have in the Western Conference winning out that 7th and 8th position? Remember, it's only 2 that you could pick. And the Warriors and the Lakers potentially have to knock it. They have to knock each other out.
Yeah. I'm gonna take Sacramento and LA. I think those are the 2 more equipped teams to win out. I say Sacramento goes 7 and LA goes 8.
So you got the Kings beating the Pelicans, and then you have the Lakers beating the Warriors and the Pelicans.
Yes.
Because if you're a 7th or 8th seed, you get 2 chances to try to secure your seeding. Black Peace, who you got in the West?
Even though I don't like them, I'm debating on the Pelicans. The Pelicans play against the Kings.
Yeah, if the playoffs started today, yes.
I would have to say the Kings. I don't know what it is about the Pelicans. They're strangely, even in playoff contentions to me. I don't know why they're even there. But I'd definitely say the Kings I'll say the Kings will probably take that one. And I'll say the Lakers will probably take against the Golden State. I mean, but the thing is, you just can't let Curry be Curry, which is easier said than done. Because if that happens, it's a 1-game scenario, 7 versus 8, right? Yeah. So if Curry goes Curry on them, that's all they technically need. I love how we've
been here before. I've been here before, torn like this before.
And, yeah, like I think the Lakers should win, but if Curry does Curry, it's what's up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the Pelicans. I'm gonna take the Pelicans. Pelicans and the Lakers. Pelicans and the Lakers. I don't know how the Kings have fallen from grace, but they do have injuries, I guess you could say. But I don't know if this is too early to say. I don't know if and I'm just being just for the sake of being controversial because I haven't really gave it thought, but let's just be controversial. Like Fox, Sabonis, is it time for them to break up?
I don't know, bro. DeMarcus Sabonis been dogging.
I'm about to say Sabonis been flourishing.
Yeah, he been dogging. I don't know.
Fox has been better.
I got one more time to bet on him and him to go under. And he on the ban list. So I don't know.
He's been better since the All-Star, but he's still been pretty shaky. Sabonis has been in overdrive, honestly. at this point, he can do whatever these last couple of games, whether they need him or not. He's definitely overperformed this season. But De'Aaron Fox is probably the person I would put in question. And also, I would kind of put a little blame on the supporting cast to a certain extent. I feel like Keegan
Malik.
Murray. Huh?
No, I was just gonna say Malik Monk. He been out injured, so that's something to the supporting cast.
Oh, okay. Well, then, all right.
It's
I can
not the
kind of
only
chalk that up
thing,
to
but
that.
I was just saying
And
for that
man,
particular player.
no, him and Kevin Huerter as well. Kevin Huerter, I believe, is out for the season, which is pretty critical. That's a three. I'm not sure about D, but that's definitely threes that are coming off the board. Pure shooter. Um, and I just feel like it really just in depth. At one point, the depth was on point. Like the whole team was on point. It just seemed like the chemistry's off somewhere. Maybe leadership is not quite being the leader, that being De'Aaron Fox. I think he feels kind of sidestepped by Sabonis to a certain extent as far as the leadership. At one point, it was coexisting, and now it's very shoddy. It's like you can't catch them both on the same page. But yeah, I kind of am curious of why would you pick the Pelicans to do anything in life.
I know it goes against my better judgment with a CJ McCollum, with a team that has a CJ McCollum on it. But they've been a good team defensively this year. They've been a good team defensively this year, and like the Kings, like they don't play nobody's defense. Zion has been fully healthy, but he's played this as far into the season as he has. This is the furthest he's played into the season before. In terms of just how many games he's played. I think people want to give too much credence to the Kings because of their run last year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, okay, that was last year. Like, what is that supposed to like?
Well, see, for me, I feel you, bro. I feel like last year gives them enough to at least beat the Pelicans. So that's why I'm kind of like of the mindset of Darnell. It's like it's the Pelicans. Like, don't we still feel like they like a young, immature, not ready for the postseason type of team? Right? When the Kings, what they've showed, the showing that they had last year, wouldn't they be more believable to be ready for the postseason, along with the other two teams, which are the Lakers and Golden State? It seems like one of them just don't fit, right, at that point. And so, and with Domantas Sabonis being who they can run the offense through to slow it down, don't necessarily have to go through the inconsistencies with De'Aaron Fox. I don't know. I don't know if Sacramento won't have a better game plan with all of their injuries to slow the game down and run it through Domantas Sabonis. I don't know. I just like saying both his names at the same time. I don't know why. It's like that with all foreign players. I like saying Nikola Jokic. I like saying Luka Doncic.
Dope names, bro. Dope names. I feel you. Demontis, I get it.
Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like, that's hard, bro.
Yeah, bro. It's an understandable sensation, bro. I respect that. No bullshit. No bull.
What's old buddy name? I think he played for the Thunder. Michic is that his name?
Yeah, I give a nice good throwback that everybody can reconcile with. Stojakovic.
Yeah.
Hey, and here's the thing too. I didn't even know this before I said I would bet on the. I didn't even know this before I said I would bet on the Kings, but the Kings got the excuse me. I didn't know this before I said I would bet on the Pelicans. The Pelicans have the Kings 3-0 this season. So there's that. And they getting ready to play each other this upcoming Thursday. On the 11th, so they could possibly go for the season sweep. So like these are teams who played each other going on. They would have played each other 4 times if they finished in the 7th and 8th spot. And so like we didn't beat y'all 4 times throughout the regular season, and for a playing game, we can't beat y'all again. Granted, there's going to be the argument playoffs different than like the regular season, but technically this ain't necessarily full throttle the regular season. I mean the playoffs, and then you just said, hey, like they're not fully healthy, and same could be said for the Pelicans who don't have Brandon Ingram. But I got the Pelicans over in the East.
Hold on, time out. I need our fans to understand the magnitude of this right now. Edward McFarlane is voting that a team that CJ McCollum is on is going to advance. Is that what I'm hearing right now?
Yes, bro. Yes.
Hey, let it be noted, he is not proud of it.
For y'all that don't know, our homeboy Edward is like one of the biggest Damian Lillard fans. He's been following the young Bulls since high school, somewhere like that. And he's not the biggest fan of CJ McCollum. We're just gonna leave that right there.
Yeah, man. Over to the East. The Eastern Conference playoff picture. The Eastern
This
Conference.
one's a little tougher to deliberate if you're asking me, but we'll try. Let's do it.
So 7 through 10. 7, you got the Sixers. Irony, right?
Right.
8, you got the Miami Heat. The 9th seed, you got the Bulls. 10th seed, you got the Hawks.
Okay, so I'm gonna go Bulls. I like DeMar DeRozan and Vujicic. And I'm gonna go Baga Baga. I'm gonna have to go 76ers. Yeah. What am I talking about? I have to go. No, I'm going 76ers. No. I'm talking about Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. Both of them on my band list, by the way, unless I'm taking them for an under. But anyway, 76ers. And who did I say? Who's the other team? 76ers and the Bulls. Yeah. I think the Bulls have been coming along the last part of this season. And let's see if they can carry that momentum into the play-in. Yeah, you're on mute like a mug.
I got the Sixers, and then I got the Heat. I think I got the Sixers at 7, then I got the Heat at 8. That'll be a great, phenomenal matchup if the Heat get to go up against the Celtics round 1. Again, we started this podcast with Giannis possibly having an injury that may hinder him from playing throughout the playoffs. I don't want to necessarily say what I think it is because it has yet to be confirmed. But yeah, thinking about that situation last year in the playoffs with the with the Heat, it was a play-in series, I believe, at that. The Heat and the Chicago Bulls, I think, to like get into a spot when they were like down by like double digits with like 3 or 4 minutes left, and the Heat came and walked the Bulls down to make it into the playoffs. I just think that he still got the Bulls card. So that's how I feel about that. Joel Embiid is back. Maxey just had a 50-point game. I think he's hitting his stride at the right moment. So I would pick the Sixers over the Hawks and the Bulls. What about you, Black Peace?
They got the Sixers and who?
The Sixers and the Heat.
And then you got Bulls and who?
Sixers, Heat, Bulls, Hawks.
Oh, that's crappy.
Ain't nobody studying the Hawks, huh?
I'll say the Heat are going to beat the Sixers. Sixers just the chemistry is just off. Chemistry over talent at this point, especially in the playoff setting. Even though it's just a play-in game, think it's going to happen. Plus, the Sixers have a good chance to still make the playoffs because they're not completely eliminated. And then I'll say out of the Bulls and the Hawks, who has home court advantage? Who would have home court advantage?
The Hawks can't, if they were to finish with a tie, the Bulls would have home court advantage. So the Hawks would have to outright have a better record than the Bulls. The Bulls are 37-41. The Hawks are 36-43. So it looks more likely that the Hawks would have to finish in the 10th spot.
Yeah.
So it'll be Chicago.
Which will give the Bulls home court.
Yeah.
I like Chicago, but they had a nice little push at the postseason. I had to give it to them. They were looking kind of shaky, didn't know where they were going to go before All-Star. And then, after All-Star, they got some things together, got some roles together. Think they were just still hanging their hat on that Levine vote, but they let that sail. And I think they're going to move on from there. And they're just kind of right now flexing on how they want to move forward as a team. The Hawks, on the other hand, just lost Trae Young, so they're a little bit more on a vulnerable side. They're winging it and they're pulling everything they can. But once it gets to that point of like, all right, let's settle down and try to win another game to advance, I think it'd just be a little too much.
All right. So a note would be that from the 3rd seed all the way down to the 6th seed, they are all tied with 46 wins. From the 3rd seed all the way down to the 6th seed. And the difference between the 6th and 7th seed with the Philadelphia 76ers is the Pacers are a 6th seed at 46-34, and the 76ers are a 7th seed at 45-35. So these last 3 or 4 games or 3 games are going to mean a lot. Black Peace.
So these teams could not even be in the play.
Yeah. No. So no. Well, no, these teams could fall into the play-in.
Right. Okay. Right.
They won't fall out of the playoff picture, but they could have a 3 to 6 seed.
That's what I mean. So the 76ers can go up and then somebody can come down.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Black Peace. We are no longer just trying to win the division. This is a segue to the NFL, by the way. Hold on.
Bless you.
Thank you. Excuse me. We are no longer just trying to get a quarterback. We are no longer just trying to finish above 500. We are no longer trying to overcome the cancerous ways within the organization that were implemented by Bill O'Brien. We are no longer just hoping that we could get a playoffs berth or be in a playoff hunt. We have eclipsed all those things, and we are now in a position where we have an elite top 5 receiver and Stephon Diggs, as the Texans recently acquired him from the Buffalo Bills. Take it away, my brother.
Since 2002. Nah, now the real ones know, man.
That was a good one.
Now the real ones know, really since 2002, man. We've been struggling in some aspect, if not all aspects, man. But the thing about it is the fan base has been so loyal, man. Yeah, we may complain about, our obvious issues, but we don't leave. We don't give up. That's the Texan way, you know what I'm saying? That's just really Houston sports fandom in general. Shout out to all the, Houston sports fans, man. Like it's no better fan base than us. Like we can take an L and we can deliver one as well. But I feel like for us being such a loyal, respectable fan base, man, we never got a chance to actually just enjoy a good football team. When we did, they sold them. The Oilers, next thing you know, I think a year or two later, they go to the Super Bowl. We were downright robbed. But now, we have our own opportunity to, make it there on our own. Like you said, with a great quarterback, great receiving staff, great coaching staff. The flaws that we do have, which every team has, are a minimum. And like I said, if you're a Texans fan, we've always just kind of just made best of what we had. We're not at that point anymore, guys. We made it to the promised land. Now, granted, we won a Super Bowl. Hell yeah, we won a Super Bowl. Hell yeah, we do. But at this point right now, this very moment, we're just grateful to have the opportunity to be able to say, respectfully and not as a joke, we can make it to the Super Bowl. I give it 2 or 3 years where we may get a little spoiled, may get a little bit whatever if things don't transpire. But right now, man, speaking for the Houston Texans fan base, man, we're grateful for what the organization is doing, for how the players are representing themselves, for how the coaching staff has been representing for us, and just sticking in there, man. I say the last 2 years have been very trying because we've made it to a certain point of success and belief, and then it was ripped away from us. The reason, the why doesn't technically matter at this point, but the fact that it's ripped away from us, it really hit the city really bad, dude. Like, because coincidentally, when that happened, the Texans, like all Houston sports in general, were taking a blow to a certain extent. Granted, except for the Astros, they still stood tall and strong and still were able to make World Series appearances. But to circle back, man, this is a special moment for Houston football fans. Like I said, the Oilers were taken away from us when we had our chance at glory. This is our chance now. I feel like the pieces that we have and the way we're structured for the future. This is not just a 1 or 2 year thing. This is the future of football. I feel. I may feel like a drunk fan at this point, but I feel like the way we're crafting this team, we're gonna be the next team of the next 10, maybe 15 years. Just off of like the way CJ's been able to set up the culture, the way D'Amico's been able to set up the culture, the way just everybody involved is setting up the culture right now. Like I said, we got there on a bunch of rookies, whether it's a rookie coaching staff, rookie players, and at some points we had rookie fans, bro, and we still made it to the playoffs and fought hard. So where we're at right now, man, the future looks bright. It looks wonderful, and just protect our king, man. Protect CJ Stroud. Thank you.
Yeah, I for one am excited to watch the duo of CJ Stroud and Stephon Diggs. I'm sure that should be really entertaining to watch. And I'm really curious to see. I really can't call how far the Texans will go. How they're looking with this addition, they could go a step further than what they did last year, which would be big upside. And yeah, man, I mean, the sky's the limit, really, when it comes to the Houston Texans, Houston Texans, because they have a dynamic quarterback, and now they got a dynamic number 1 receiver. And I mean, some would say Stephon is kind of like in the middle of his prime, like not even plateaued yet. So, man, it should be good football, fun football to say the least. And as long as that defense stays stout, at least how they was last year, you get a few more key pieces. Who knows, man? Texas could be scary.
I say our only in the AFC South. AFC South is ours. Like, I think not worried about the Titans because they rebuilding, got a new quarterback and all that good stuff. And got rid of Henry. So you got rid of Henry. I don't expect you to do much of anything. That's one. 2, the Jaguars, they're just I don't know, poverty stricken. I don't know. They're just mediocre. I think that's their ceiling is mediocrity. That's 2. Then 3, I think it's gonna be another learning curve for the Colts because Anthony Richardson got hurt, and because of him getting hurt early in the season, I'd like to believe there's still a I like to still believe there's a rookie class or freshman class he still has to go through when he comes back from injury to be able to progress through a season, and not having a full season under his belt to come into this season knowing what tools to use.
Right.
Probably
He'll
still
have to compete for the job again.
I don't think he'll have to compete for the job. I just think that like the progression he could have made prior to injury, now he has to start his rookie season all over again to a degree. I want to say he just got hurt early in the season. I'm not sure how deep. He didn't go deep into the season. He got hurt pretty early. And because of all of that, on top of what we got, the AFC South is ours. The only teams I see in our way, agree or disagree, is the Chiefs and the Ravens. Do y'all see anybody else the Texans should be worried about in the AFC South?
I'm gonna say I'm just for just to be messy and petty. I'm gonna say the Cleveland Browns.
We will watch the floor though.
Just to be messy and petty. That's what I'm gonna say.
Get him, Darnell. Get him, Darnell.
That should be fun when the Texans play the Browns next year. That should be fun. Y'all definitely coming to Arlington.
Because we don't forget nothing. That playoff win was a playoff win. We didn't forget regular season. Yeah, that blowout in the regular season when CJ was out, that's still get back season on that play. We still on get back time.
I'm not worried
I ain't forgot about it.
I just want to see, because you know they be building these games up and it don't be nothing. It be all defensive. They be like, oh man. We'll see. Should be fun though.
Yeah, man. Our brother Sean Hart Izzo, he wasn't able to be in the building with us tonight. But I mean, stay tuned. It's still off season. Y'all gonna hear from him and his take on our beloved Houston Texans tonight. Yeah, man, another great episode. Thank y'all beautiful people for tuning in. And y'all know that is what you call a great episode. Go Texans. Today is April 9th. We're going to give y'all to the end of the NFL draft to get y'all bandwagon paperwork in. End of the NFL draft to get y'all bandwagon paperwork in.
And I'm checking it.
And Black Piece is checking. Love you, beautiful people. We will see you next week.